So let's begin. We're going to continue with chapter 7 in our textbook. For those of you who don't know, our textbook is the Astrology of the Old Testament, or the lost word regained, which is astrology. Okay? So let's pick it back up. We're on page 86, second paragraph. Okay? So let's pick it back up. Take the candlestick of the Jews and its 6 branches, the 7 spirits of God, the ministers of flaming fire, viz., the sun sun, the moon, planets, particularly Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. So it should be 7, right? Let's count them. The sun, moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury. Okay? So the 7 spirits, all right? So let's keep it going. Were these heathen gods, the planets, were these planets heathen gods, think ye, or only personified forces like the present of Christ? So the author here is admitting, although he's a religious person, that Christ is just a personification of the Son. Okay? So let me say it again. Were these heathen gods, think ye, or only personified forces like the present Christ? So are the planets gods? Are they gods? That's the question. Or are they just a personified force? What's the force? The sun sun. We all know that. If so, why use them now? Why use this sacred 7? Or Savan, S-A-V-A-N, or wisdom number 7. So if these are heathen gods, what's it doing up in the Bible? The 7 spirits of God. That's what the author is asking. Don't add any, don't deduct any. If you do, all is ruined. So what is he going to bring to our attention? Well, let's keep reading and find out. The sun rules the first hour of Sunday, of sun's day. The moon rules the first hour of the day of Mon, M-O-N, or moon's day, M-O-O-N-S-D-A-Y. Mars rules the first hour of Mardi, or Tuesday. Mercury rules the first hour of, it looks like this is M-E-C-R-I-D-I, Mecredi, or listen y'all, or Woden. Woden's Dag, or Wednesday. So here we go again, Woden, right? So Woden, Odin, the modern day spelling of this deity, of this dramatic deity, is God, G-O-D. Is Mercury. Mercury, remember, Mercury is commerce, mercantile. Mercury is commercial, the Lord of commerce. And Jesus is also Mercury, as we went over many, many classes ago. Also demonstrating, proving that Christianity is commerce. Christianity is commercial commerce. And in commerce, in this system, there is a debtor and a creditor. In other words, a master or a slave. But that's not what we're dealing with right now. Let's get back to it. So Jupiter rules Thor's day. So Thor's day is Jupiter. Let me pronounce it in the German. Thorsdag. Thorsdag. Thursday. Or Thursday. Venus or Friga. Friggga. So that's Venus. Rules Fridag. Fridag. Or Friday. So this is German, y'all. And Saturn, the evil planet, opens Saturn's dag, or Saturday, or quote unquote, dies noon or none. Dies none. D-I-E-S space and then none. N-O-N. Dies none. Which is the Sabbath. A day considered by the ancients as evil to begin any work in. Again, Saturn's day or Saturn's dag, which is Saturday in modern times, which is quote unquote dies none, the Sabbath, or the Hebrew Israelites say the Shabbat. Okay, the Shabbat. A day considered by the ancients as evil to begin any work in, and consequently forbidden by Moses to commence any on that day from the rising of the sun. And that's the key point. From the rising of the sun until the going down thereof. So no work from the rising of the sun until the setting of the sun. Y'all got that? No work from the rising of the Yeshuan sun until sunset. Until sunset. Now that's significant. Keep that in mind as we go forward. You're going to see why. Also keep these 7 spirits in mind, the 7 planets that we just went over. So let's look at this word dag, the suffix that was suffixed to the days of the week and to the names of these deities, to the name of these heathen gods. Right? Take the candlesticks of the Jews and its 6 branches, the 7 spirits of God, the ministers of flaming fire, viz. The sun, moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. Were these heathen gods, think ye, or only personified forces like the present Christ? So we're talking about what? Heathen gods. Okay? The author put that question out there. If they are heathen gods, as the author writes, if so, why use them now? Why bring them up? Why bring up these heathen gods when you're talking about the candlestick of the Jews and its 6 branches? Why bring them up? If they are heathen, if they're of the devil, why bring them up? That's what the author is asking. Why use this sacred 7 or Savan or the wisdom number 7? Why? Why? If it's evil, if it's heathenistic. Well, let's get into it, y'all. So if you look at the word dag, D-A-G, in English, it means hanging in or shred. Hanging in or shred. Also matted or manure coat. So imagine a sheep and it has poop all stuck on its coat. And this is disgusting, right? The sheep and it has manure stuck on its rear end and it's all caked up. Why would they choose a word like that? But again, this is German. Okay, this word, let me just read it. In UK English, dag, D-A-G, means a person wearing dirty clothes. A person who's wearing dirty or untidy clothing. Or a person who has a good sense of humor. Now, isn't this interesting what they did with the word gay? The word gay. Y'all know what the gays do, right? Anal sex. But gay also, but it's also funny, right? Happiness, funny. A person with a good sense of humor, matted or manure coat, right? Anal sex. Y'all see this? Hebrew. So dag in Hebrew means fish. So any size fish, even a great or a huge fish. In Greek, dag means fish or great fish. In German, dag means day. For example, Woden's Day, which is actually Odin's Day, which is the middle of the week. So y'all put all of these together and see what you come up with. What can you imagine in terms of some useful meaning or some new useful direction that you might investigate further? Some nuance of meaning. Just use your imagination. But in my opinion, this is quite disgusting. So Frigga is Odin's wife. So of course Frigga is Venus. So Odin or Woden is married to Venus or Frigga. I don't know if that's the only married couple here, but anyway, it is what it is. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue. But isn't that something? How feces, something dirty, is associated with the days of the week. Why would they do that? Right? Why would they use such words? And then the middle of the week, Wednesday at that. We call Wednesday the hump day, right? How about that? The hump day. Huh? That has a sexual content, a sexual connotation, right, y'all? Wednesday the hump day. It's also the most difficult part of the week to get through. That's why they call it the hump day. Very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. Anyway, let's keep it going. Neither must there be any fire made on that day, for fire is not congenial to Saturn. But remember, Saturn is set, sunrise. That's actually Jesus or Horus, right? The sun sun rising above the horizon, rising above the zone of Horus. Okay, so the sun is rising, baby Jesus. The sun matures, becomes a full man, right? Becomes a full man. Let's say at 6, 7 o'clock, whenever the zenith is, or let's say 12 o'clock noon, the zenith, okay? And Christ is teaching in the temple. The sun is at its highest elevation in the sky at about 12 noon. Christ is teaching in the temple at 12 years old. Y'all see it? Christ grows and matures at 30. Okay? Well, let's not say Christ, but a man. A man becomes a mature man, then the man becomes older, right? And then you go from the cycle of birth or regeneration to maturation to what? To decline and eventual death. Okay? And then the breakdown or deterioration of the flesh, of the vegetation, back to its whatever the component parts are, we call them nutrients. And then during the spring thaw, they become available again, right? They become available again to be used as nutrients or recycled. And they become assimilated, so that which is now dead and in the form of nutrients become assimilated into the bodies of living things, flesh or vegetation. Once again, everybody see that? The life cycle. All right? Everybody see that? So let's continue. So you can't make a fire on the Sabbath. Why is that? As I just mentioned, sunrise, sunset, sunrise, the good, okay, the good, sunset, the bad. Sunrise, Luke Skywalker, the light, the bright, wisdom, intelligence, etc., higher self-behavior, the Christ. Sunset, darkness, Christ's evil brother, Darth Vader, right? Okay, so the constant cycle or cyclicking between good and evil, okay, between knowledge and ignorance, all right, whereas knowledge is considered to be good and the darkness is considered to be bad. So you can't make a fire. Why? Because Saturn doesn't like fire. Remember, here's the Earth, here are the other 6 planets, and here's Saturn. Saturn is at the opposite end of the line, of the same line as the Sun. So Saturn is dark and cold. All right? That's what this is telling us. Okay? So let's continue. So this is why you can't make a fire and can't work on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath. Let us see if the ancients considered the sun as a center. In other words, the author is saying our ancient ancestors saw the sun as being a center, not the center, a center. A center, not the center of the universe, a center. Let us see if the ancients, these are the ancient Moors, considered Moabite, Canaanite, etc., considered the Escheat sun as a center or the earth, as has been claimed by modern collegians. So in 1892, looks like the college professors, the universities were saying that the earth was the center of the universe, or of at least our galaxy, right? That's what this chapter is all about. And he's going to present evidence to show that our ancient ancestors knew that the sun was a center. A center. We shall first see how they came to name the days of the week. Okay, well, let's hear it. First, bear in mind, this is the key. Let me show y'all the key. And we're on page 86. So here's the list of the planets. Okay, and y'all have to look at them in this order. So here's the sun. There are 3 planets to the left and 3 planets to the right of the sun. Okay? So 3 are closest to the sun and 3 are furthest away. So clearly, I hope well, let me show it. Let me show an image of this so you guys can see. Maybe some people don't know. I'm going to show you guys the planets, okay, around the sun. Give me 1 second. So take a look. This is a heliocentric model where the sun is in the center. All right. The closest planet to the sun is Mercury. The next is Venus. Well, I don't have to go through it. Y'all take a look at it. What I would like to point out, though, is that Neptune and Uranus are not ancient. Neptune and Uranus are not ancient. They're not in this list of our 7. If you include them, there are 9. Okay, so what's ancient? The sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth. That's replaced with the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Let me see if I can find a better image because I don't want to confuse anyone. Give me one moment. Here we are. It's not the best. But y'all take a look. So in the center you see Sol. Sol is Latin for sun, S-O-L. Hold on. Sol is Latin for sun. Here's the sun. Okay. Next you see Mercury. Y'all see Mercury? Okay, next is Venus. Y'all see Venus? Right there, y'all see Venus? And then the moon, okay? The moon. And then next, hold on y'all, what? I don't know what just happened, hold on. Oh, shoot. Next is Mars. Next is Jupiter. And then next is Saturn. But I don't know what happened. Hold on. All right. So y'all see that? Okay. Maybe this is easier to look at. All right. Okay. So this is what the author is talking about. So let's continue. So the author writes, first bear in mind this key. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. And then there's the sun. And then there's Venus, Mercury, the moon. Okay? Let me see if I can get a picture with the planets. Might be easier. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm going to see if I can get a better visual. Hold on. With the actual planets. With the planets lined up so you can more easily see them. One moment. Here we go. So models of the solar system. So here you see the heliocentric and the geocentric. Okay? So according to the author, in 1892, many of the universities were pushing or teaching the geocentric. Earth is the center. But he's saying our ancient ancestors knew that the sun was a center, okay? Not the earth, but the sun, said helio, right? Okay, y'all? All right. So let's get started. I was hoping I could. Oh, here we go. I want y'all to see the planets arranged properly. Hold on. None of these images are really good. Oh well. Actually, they're not really good at all. Oh well. Oh well, y'all. Let's let it go. Maybe if I do a class, maybe I think what I can do is do something with more visuals on Patreon, or maybe I'll do for members only video, because it's going to take work. A lot of time searching to put that together, but it's worth it if you can see everything, right? It's really, really worth it to be able to see it. But anyway, let's go back. So keep in mind that key, y'all. Write this down. Write these planets down. This is on page 86. Write it down so you can reference back to it as we read through it, okay? So write it down. All right. So let's continue. So first, bear in mind this key: Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the S-U-N, Sun, Venus, Mercury, the Moon, arranged precisely as modern astronomers in 1892 have our solar system, viz. the three superior planets, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, outside. In other words, they're further away from the sun. So outside, the sun in the center, and the three inferior planets, which are Venus, Mercury, and the Moon, on the other side of the sun. Okay, so in other words, if this is the sun, there are three planets over here. Okay, this is the sun, and then there are three planets over here. The sun is in the center, okay? And they all have their orbits, all right? They all have their separate orbits. Now let's continue. Notice what it says here. And the magnetism of all centering or affecting our Earth. Did y'all get that? Did you get that? And the magnetism of all centering or affecting our Earth, and in a person's nativity, that's where you're born. Okay, your nativity, the land that you entered this earth plane on. Okay, your natal, your natal chart, birth chart. Okay, and in a person's nativity, his or her body and the place or cross of birth. Now, I don't know what he means by cross of birth. Okay, but magnetism, that's the point I want to focus on. Magnetism affects our Earth, and in a person's nativity, his or her body and the place or cross of birth. Magnetism. Not devils and demons, not witches and warlocks, not anything evil. Magnetism. And if you have a problem with magnetism, stop using all devices. Stop using all of your devices. Computers, laptops, tablets. Stop using them. Because they all have magnets. Stop using electricity, because guess what? That's magnetism too. That's magnetism too. So if you're going to say that this is evil and of the devil, which is very ignorant, you may as well stop using all electrical devices. All your memory storage devices, stop using them, because they're of the devil. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that magnetism, the solar magnetism, is carrying data, it's carrying information that influences consciousness, and all things have consciousness, even a rock. Okay, now let's continue. Make a table, at the top of which you shall put the hours of a day, And thus from 1 to 12, thence to 24. Okay, so let's look at this table. Okay, so that first table, you see 1 to 12, and then the second table, you see 13 to 24. All right. And let us start with the sun, ruler of the first hour of the first day or Sunday. Now remember, the day is named after the first hour. So whatever planet rules during the first hour, that's the name of the day. So Sunday is, the first hour is ruled by the sun, so therefore that day is called Sunday, or that's the first day, right? Sunday. Okay, y'all? So pay attention. I need you to pay attention now to make sure you get this the first time around. If not, that's okay. Go back and watch the video, read the book. But this information you should really know. Okay, I'm getting eaten up by the mosquitoes. I think this is my last time coming here. And I can't focus. Shoot. Okay, y'all. Anyway, so let's begin with the sun, ruler of the first hour of the first day. So the first hour of the first day is Sunday. So since the sun, the S-U-N sun, rules the first hour of the first day, that day is called Sunday. The first day is called Sun's, S-U-N-S day, Sun's day or Sunday. All right? So let's take a look. So here's what the author did. Now remember that list of 7 planets? So here we are, the sun. The next you see, Venus, Mercury, the moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. And then we start back with the sun. Sun, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, and then Saturn. Did I do that right, y'all? Hold on. Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon. Hold on. Oh yeah. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's correct. I said it right. Okay, y'all? So Saturn. And then if we keep going, so from Saturn, what comes after Saturn? Jupiter. So from Saturn here, Jupiter, Mars, Sun. I hope y'all can see it. Venus, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury, Sun. Am I saying this right, y'all? And then what is this? Venus and Mercury. Oh my goodness. Dang, one of these mosquitoes, y'all, they're getting me. Hold on. So you see, for each hour of the day is ruled by a specific planet. All right, y'all? We'll get into what this means later. So each hour of the day is ruled by a specific planet. All right? Now remember, the issue is magnetism, not devils and demons. It's magnetism. All right? The magnetic effect that each planet has. That's it. Okay? Or effects or impacts due to magnetism. All right? Period. Nothing else. Let's continue. So Man, M-O-N, which is Moon's Day, M-O-O-N-S, Moon's Day. Okay, it continues. You will observe that each hour of the day, reckoning from sunrise, right? Sunrise to sunset. Remember we talked about that earlier at the beginning of class. Beginning from sunrise to sunset. And sunset to sunrise daily. So the sun comes up, sunrise, sunset. 12 hours. When? Only at the equinoctial points. So March 22nd, thereabout, spring equinox, 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. Everybody see how the concepts, how the natural phenomena is coming together? In the fall, autumn equinox, 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. So it's equal, right? It's equal number of daylight and nighttime hours, which is justice, abstractly, okay? Now, let's continue. You will observe that each hour of the day, starting from sunrise to sunset, and sunset to sunrise, each planet has his or her planetary hour. Okay, her would be Venus, and then the moon is also feminine. And will never fail in coming correctly to designate the day by this inevitable rule for, quote unquote, here's the inevitable rule, quote unquote, the law of the Lord is perfect. The law of the Lord is perfect. Y'all see we're dealing with mathematics, right? And a knowledge of the position of the heavenly bodies relative to one another. All right, natural law. Natural law. And also you should notice that we're dealing with patterns, so pattern recognition, right? And magnetism. Okay, and magnetism. Okay, and magnetism. So let's keep it going. Let's keep learning about the law, the perfect law of the Lord, okay? Now it continues. In this case, it commences on Monday with the moon, and we continue with our law as before. What's the law, y'all? Go back to page 86. Here's the law. Those seven spirits of God, right? The wisdom number, the savant. Here we are. Here's the key. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, S-U-N, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon. Okay, let's go back to page 87. Starting from Monday, we get, so we write out 12 hours, because remember, at each equinoctial point, there are 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. All right? So 1 through 12 on the top line, 13 through 24 on the bottom line. We're going to start on Monday. So Monday would be Moon Day. Okay? So Monday is Moon Day. So that's where we're starting with. All right? So we have Moon. After the Moon comes Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon. Hold on, y'all. And then after Moon, we start back from the beginning. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. Is that 12? Okay. And then after Mars, of course, is the Sun. I hope y'all can see that. So let's go to now. So that was sunset to sunrise. 13 to 24 is what? Sunset. 1 through 12 is sunrise to sunset, daylight hours. And then 13 through 24 is sunset to sunrise. Okay, so we have two 12-hour periods. So 13. So 13 is Venus, Mercury, Moon. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, and the 24th is Jupiter. So I'm not going to go through all 7. The author does each of the 7 days of the week. The point to take from here is the first day of the week, the first planet rather, when you do 1 through 12, depends on the day of the week. So Sunday is the first day, so the first day would be the sun. Why? Because the sun rules the first hour, therefore the name of the day is Sunday. And then after that, Monday. The first day of the second day of the week is Monday, right? So we put the moon for the first day, and then we follow that pattern of the 7 planets, okay? And then for Tuesday, the first day of the week is the planet Mars, right? Because Mars is Tuesday. The first hour of Tuesday is ruled by Mars. Therefore, the day is called Mars, or Mardi, which is Tuesday. Y'all see it? Wednesday, which is Odin, which is Woden. So the first, or Odin, Woden, or Woden's Dag. So the first day is Mercury, because Odin's day or Woden's day, the first hour is ruled by Mercury. Therefore, Wednesday is called Mercury, the middle day. Okay? So Thor's day, Thors, Thor's day. Which day is Jupiter. So Thor, Jupiter, the thunderer. So the comic book hero, the deity Thor. So the first hour of Thursday is ruled by Jupiter, therefore Thursday is Jupiter or Thursday, okay? Friday, the first hour is ruled by Venus, who is Frigga, Odin's wife or Woden's wife. So therefore, the entire day is called Friday, Frigga's day, or Frigga's Dag, okay? It has here Al-Huzza rather, Huzza, Arabian. This is for Frigga. So Venus, or Venus Day, and then Al-Huzza, which is Arabian. Okay? So Friday or Friday, Frigga, which is Scandinavian. Okay? Venus, or Venus Day, and then of course Al-Huzza, which is the Arabian. All right? So that's Mercury. Remember, Venus, well, never mind. We'll come back to it. I was going to say something about the Christ and Virgo, but we'll come back to it. This is complicated enough. So now, Saturday, modern day Saturday is Saturdag, or day of Saturn, or day of Set, right? The Egyptian deity Horus, evil brother. Or Sabbath day, Sabbath, Shabbat. The Hebrew Israelites call it Shabbat. So the Shabbat is Saturn's day. Saturn is the source of all ills. Saturn is the source of all ills. It's dark and it's cold. Huh? So Saturn rules the first hour of that day, so it is called Saturn's Day. All right, now I'm on page 88. So that actually went better than what I thought it would go. Because this is quite complicated, right? Not complicated, it's actually easy if you remember the seven patterns. If you remember that key, right? If you remember the key, it's not complicated. All right, it's just the first day. You have to put the planet whose name the day is. But anyway, let's keep going. Thus bringing around the sun to rule. Listen, y'all, this is the point. Thus bringing around the Escheat sun to rule the first hour of the sun's Escheat sun's day, which is not the Sabbath day, but the first day of the week. Okay, in other words, the sun rules the first day of the week, Sunday, sun's day, not the Sabbath or Saturday. All right, so let's continue. Thus bringing around the sun to rule the first hour of the sun's day, which is not the Sabbath day, but the first day of the week, okay, which is Sunday. As this table is computed to have been obtained from the Hindus some thousands of years before the birth of Christ was arranged. Why is he saying this? Because Christ claimed to be Lord of the Sabbath. So how can Christ be Lord of the Sabbath and he wasn't even born yet? But of course the Christians and the Hebrew Israelites will say, well, he was gonna be born. He existed in the heavens, right? So let's continue. It is rather unfair to claim the sun. It is rather unfair to claim him as Lord of the Sabbath. It is rather unfair to claim Christ as Lord of the Sabbath. What? Because of what I just said, he wasn't even born yet. This was in place thousands, many thousands of years before Christ was allegedly born. Okay? It should rather, or Christ should rather be Lord of the first day of the week. Yeah, because Christ is the Escheat son. So Christ should be Lord of Sunday, not Lord of the Sabbath. Everybody see that? Does everybody see it? All right. Now, next, run your eyes down the first hour of every day made by this table, commencing on Saturday, and sun, moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. That's correct, Venus. Let me start from the beginning. Sun, moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Sabbath are shown to rule and name those days. So let me check this real quick. So sun, moon, Mercury, so here's Mercury, Jupiter, then we have Venus, and then Saturn. So that is correct, y'all. So on the first day of the week, on the first day of each of these, well, the first hour rather, the first hour of each day of the week, what he has here is correct. I just checked it. The first hour of each day of the week, the first day is ruled by the first hour of the first day is ruled by the sun. The first hour of the second day is ruled by the moon. The first hour of the third day is ruled by Mars. The first hour of the fourth day is ruled by Mercury. The first hour of the fifth day is ruled by Jupiter. The first hour of the sixth day is ruled by Venus. And the first hour of the seventh day is ruled by Saturn. Okay? Now look at the hours of Friday. Now look at the hours for Friday, the day that Christ is said to die on the cross. Y'all see where this is going now, right? Y'all see why the author included this. Now look at the hours of Friday, the day that Christ is said to die on the cross. Recollect or remember that Christ says previous to it that, quote unquote, mine hour is not yet come. Mine hour is not yet come. Do y'all see what's happening here? Everybody see that? On Friday, Christ is said to have expired, crucified on the cross. Of course, he was not. It was Simon the Cyrenian, most likely. And Christ, well, Jesus made his escape with the help of Pontius Pilate. All right? Period. We know that by the grammar. Check the Devil's Pulpit. You'll find that. Okay? Watch my videos that I did on it. You'll find it easy. In fact, y'all, the Gnostics, there is a deity. The name is Nous. I think it's pronounced Nous. The Gnostics. Nous is said to have been crucified instead of Christ. Instead of Jesus, rather. Okay? But Nous was made to look like Jesus. But I'm trying to find more information on it. When I find it, I'll share it with y'all. If I find it, I'll share it with y'all, okay? So that's another story coming from the Gnostics. The JC, Jesus, was not crucified. Now, Jesus not being crucified means you have no Savior, which means you must depend on yourself to save yourself. Okay, and the grammar clearly shows, I put it in my community post, and the grammar clearly shows that it was not Jesus who was crucified. It was most likely Simon the Cyrenian, but definitely not Jesus. In other words, it was the Moor. The Moor got blamed for the crime and was punished. Oh, Adrana, hey, long time no see. Greetings back to you. Greetings of peace, Shalom, Dr. Yusafka. Assalamu alaikum, Adrana. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, y'all, let's keep it going. So Christ says on Friday, mine hour is not yet come. Now that's a quote. And also, when all was over and Jesus expired, it says, the New Testament says, quote unquote, it was the 9th hour. So it was Friday on the 9th hour. Look then at this ancient table. At Friday, the 9th hour, and thus it is written. It is the hour of Mercury, the messenger. And y'all, we've gone through this already. Mercury, the messenger, the Messiah, is Jesus, is commercial, or the nearest planet to the sun sun. So Mercury is the nearest planet to the sun sun. What is this telling us? Mercury is what? Bathed in the glory of God. Totally immersed in the glory of God. Right? And God being the Son. Totally immersed in the glory of the Father. Let me see if I can get an image. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, so here we are. So here's Mercury, the dot here, the planet closest to the sun. Y'all see that? It's closest to the sun, therefore it has the what? The shortest orbit. Therefore it's orbiting faster than any of the other planets because it has the shortest orbit. Everybody see that? Understand that? Hence Mercury is supposed to be so fast, you know, he has the wings. Okay, y'all? So Mercury is totally bathed in the glory of God. All right? Okay, so Brad, this is not a flat earth or globe earth conversation. Okay? I haven't said anything about flat earth. So try to be disciplined in your thinking and stay on topic. Okay? You know, one of the things that shows that a person lacks education is that they don't have discipline. They talk about topics that are not on the table. So if you're going to present yourself as a scholar, Brad, and others, you should demonstrate that by doing the most basics of things that scholars do, which is show academic discipline, okay? And stay on topic, all right? So y'all, let's continue. Brad, Brad, I don't care if there's nobody here. You can leave. This is, I don't care. If I was doing this to get famous, I would have stopped a long time ago. So you have no value, Brad, talking like that. So if you want to go, and then there'll be 0 people here, and I'll still be teaching. Okay? I'll still teach without you. All right? So now I'm not just talking to you, Brad. I'm talking to anybody who has your frame of mind, not just you. Anyway, so that's what it is, y'all. Okay? So this is why we see in the New Testament that Jesus is immersed in the glory of God. Okay? Mercury is the Lord of commerce. Mercury is Jesus. All right? Christianity is commercial. That's why they push the doctrine that you're born in sin. Why? Because you're a debtor. If you're born in sin, that means you're a debtor. You're born a debtor. Okay, you're born a debtor. No constitutional, no treaty rights. Anyway, let's continue, y'all. Let's keep it going. I kind of got off track. Now, there's a scripture here on page 89, Genesis 14, Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, quote unquote. Let them be for days. Let them be for days. Okay? Let the heavenly bodies be for days. And that's what we have just worked out. So let's look at Friday so I can show y'all. Friday, the 9th hour. Friday, the 9th hour is Mercury. Now, is that a coincidence, y'all? Christ dies, gives up the ghost at the 9th hour, which is Mercury, and Jesus is Mercury? No, it's not a coincidence. How much of this stuff can be coincidence? I mean, the evidence is overwhelming. Not just in this book, but in everything we've covered that I've been presenting for years now. Hold on. Let me see if I can find something I'm looking for. Y'all give me 1 second, please. Adriana writes, excellent coverage on your topic. People are commerce, and the details you render are on point. Thanks so much, Adriana. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot coming from you, too. It really, really does. Let me see. Yeah, I'm searching for the page where it talks about JC is Mercury. But I'm being distracted by these doggone mosquitoes. Boy, oh boy. Let me see. Well, it'll come to me, y'all. Let me see. Well, let's leave it at that. Let's we'll get to that detail a little bit later. Back to page 89. By this arrangement, the ruling planet of each day imitates the sun in becoming a center, not the center, a center between the other planets, having one half on the right side and one half on the left. In other words, here's the sun on one side, let's say the right side, there are 3 planets, and then on the left side, there are another 3 planets. Okay, so 7 total. All right, now let's continue. Again, as the Lamb of God, or Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Mars is always on the right hand of the Father. And this Father, the Son. Okay? Give me 1 second, y'all. I hope everyone sees that. Okay, again, the Lamb of God, or Aries. Aries is the sheep, right? The Lamb of God. Aries is the spring equinox, 12 hours of day, 12 hours of light. So day and night have equally 12 hours. On the first line, we put the first 1 through 12 hours. On the second line, we put 13 through 24. All right, Aries is ruled by Mars. All right, and Mars is always on the right-hand side of the sun. So therefore, the Son, the SON, Jesus, is always on what? The Father's right-hand side. Jesus is the Lamb of God. Everybody see the astrological solution to the remixed gospel story? The fairy tale, the remix, everybody see that? How they copied it straight out of natural phenomena, straight out of the position of the heavenly bodies, specifically the sun and the constellation Aries. Y'all see that? See it? All right. Gave it a personality and a history. Call it the Son of God, the Son. All right. But anyway, let's continue. This Aries, or sheep sign, also represents David as the shepherd warrior, of whom the Christ, or cross, is a descendant. Now, I take issue with that, and I'm going to show you why in a second. It says, of whom the Christ, or cross, is a descendant, because he was born at the lowest point of the cross. What's the cross? The solstitial line and the equinoctial line. So here we have Aries, where my hand is moving, my elbow. This is the fall or autumn equinox, summer solstice, winter solstice. So Christ was born when? December 25th, Capricorn. This is the lowest declination, or the lowest point of descension, the lowest elevation that the sun goes to in the southern part of space. So this is what he's talking about, because Christ is a descendant. See, descendant going down south. Christ is a descendant, okay? Because he was born at the lowest point of this figure right here. Let's just call it the Christian cross to make it simple. This is the lowest point. This is the highest point. The highest point is the Summer solstice, the highest elevation, the highest declination that the sun elevates to, ascends to, on June 22nd thereabout. The lowest elevation that it descends to, descendant, is the winter solstice, December 22nd thereabout. All right, where Christ is said to what? Jesus is said to die on December 22nd, and on December 25th, a new son is born, or Jesus is reborn, or born again. Okay, y'all? Now, let me tell you why I take issue with this. Here's why I take issue with this. I'm gonna read it or paraphrase it from my margin notes. All right? So, there is a festival called the Epiphany, and it was celebrated on January 6th of every year. On January 6th of every year, to my knowledge, it was brought in by the Eastern Church, So, Jesus was born on January 6th. Now, in the Devil's Pulpit, you can get the whole story on the Epiphany. If I remember correctly, there's a whole chapter on the Epiphany. But you get the whole story. What they did on the festival and the whole thing. Its significance, the whole thing. But later, Jesus' birth was changed to December 25th. So if he was born on January 6th, well, the sun is already ascending, right? The sun casts a 1-degree shadow on the sundial at the end of December 24th at 12 midnight, which is the beginning of December 25th. So now the sun is now springing upward. How do we know? Because it cast a 1-degree shadow on the sundial. So the sun has stopped moving southward or southerly, changed directions, and is springing, ascending northward on December 25th. So Christ would not be a descendant because the sun is not descending in elevation. It's not falling in elevation. It stops falling in elevation on December 22nd. So from December 22nd to December the very end of December 24th, the sun is moving horizontally, therefore not casting a shadow on the sundial. December 25th, it springs, ascends northward toward the springtime. Everybody see that? So that's why I disagree with the author right here. I hope everyone can see it, okay? So what does this lead us to? This explains to us why the Roman Catholic Church changed Jesus' birthday from January 6th to December 25th to make it harmonic with nature. Everybody see that? To make Jesus' birthday harmonic with nature. Everybody see that? So he would have had to what? He would have had to die on December 25th. On December 22nd, right? Moves horizontally. Okay, so now he is a descendant. I can see that, but I don't see January 6th. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it. Darrell-El writes, I thought they used mosquito netting in Asian countries. At least that's what they show in the movie. Yeah, they do, but this coffee shop, to be inside of a mall, they don't operate like a business at all. The service is really bad here. But it's close, and I don't have like a lot of time to run around. But I got to do something different than this place. Hold on, y'all. Do y'all know that a lot of the Vietnamese people, they have oppressed people's mindset? Because they were enslaved by the French. Most people don't know that. And they have been warred against, like hot war, physical war by the Chinese. They have a whole history of being conquered, destroyed, and abused by the Chinese. So we share a lot of common history with the Vietnamese people. And many of them are Moors, autochthonous people. So give me a second, y'all. All right. So here they say descending point December 25th. Okay, but again, on December 25th, the sun is already ascending. So I don't agree with the author for the reasons stated. So that being the case, if I'm correct, JC is not descendant. So I would strike this whole, let me tell you what I would strike. This Aries or sheep sign also represents David as the shepherd warrior. Now I can agree with that. This is what I don't agree with. Of whom the Christ or cross or the Christian, the solstitial equinoctial line, the Christian cross, let's just call it that, is a descendant. Of whom the Christ is a descendant. Okay, I don't agree with this notion that he's a descendant because the sun is descendant. If y'all follow me, I disagree with that. All right? But anyway, let's continue. Next paragraph. As I have given a table of planetary hours. Now y'all, here's where power is being presented to us. Remember we talked about magnetism. This is about magnetism. So in these next few paragraphs, the author is going to deliver to you power if you can perceive how to use it. But remember, Christ said he cursed you. I'm talking to you personally, us collectively. And the curse that Christ cursed us with is he said what? Although we have eyes to see, he would uncouple our minds so that our eyes don't perceive what's in our environment. In other words, our eyes are going to play tricks on us. And although we have ears to hear, we won't understand. Our ears are going to play tricks on us. In other words, we're going to be incompetent. That's what he said. Darrell-El writes, I've said racism and weapons are the only viable economic systems that America continues to make great financial gains from. I would agree with you on that. So here's the power, y'all. If you can see it and understand it. We're talking about magnetism. Magnetism. And what? Harnessing cosmic power and using it. Let's get into it. What's that called, y'all? What do people call it? They call it magic. Why? Because people can't explain how it's done. All right? So for someone who never saw a mobile phone would think this is magic. Wow. Right? Or if you see a magician make an airplane disappear or make an elephant look like it's floating, you don't understand it, so you think it's magic. Okay, so Adrena writes, FYI, please get some peppermint oil mix with water spray your area, and the mosquitoes will find another place to swarm. Continue to be. Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna do that. Peppermint oil with water. I'm definitely going to try to find that. Darrell-El writes, read my earlier comment. Okay, hold on. Okay. Darrell-El writes, I thought they use mosquito nettings in Asian countries. They do, Darrell-El. At least that's what they show in the movies. They do, but this coffee shop, man, the service is poor. Very, very poor. Did I get it? Because that's all I saw, Darrell-El. Or you can read. Can you copy it, paste it if I missed it because I didn't see it. So y'all, let's get into the power. The power. How to demonstrate magic. Okay, and don't take that the wrong way, you Christians and Hebrew Israelites. I'm talking about how to harness and use power that other people do not understand how you did it. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Paragraph 89. As I have given a table of planetary hours, I will here insert also a table for finding the length of those hours. So in other words, y'all, we're not dealing with a 60-minute hour. Planetary hours are not necessarily 60 minutes, like the hours on a clock. Okay? As I have given a table of planetary hours, I will here insert also a table for finding the length of those planetary hours. The length of those planetary hours. How many hours, how many minutes, okay, in a planetary hour? Which must be computed from the length of days at the place desired. What does that mean? The length of days. That means, remember, we're dealing with sunrise and sunset. So at the equinoctial points, we have 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night, right? But what about when we're not at the equinoctial points? Remember, y'all, sin. We got this from the devil's pulpit. Sin is when there is an imbalance between the number of daylight hours and the number of nighttime hours. That's sin. Okay? That's sin. So, in the kingdom of heaven, y'all, in the kingdom of heaven, where the days are getting longer and the nights are getting shorter, guess what? There's an imbalance between the number of days, between the number of daylight hours and nighttime hours. So there's sin in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is every constellation above Aries and above Libra. This is the kingdom of heaven, the royal ark. Okay? Maximum number of sunlight hours are at the summer solstice. That's the longest day of the year. Somewhere around June 22nd. All right? So there's sin. There's unevenness. There is inequity in the kingdom of heaven. How about that? Now, there's also an imbalance between the number of nighttime hours and daylight hours in hell. Hell are those constellations below Libra and below Aries. That's hell. So there is imbalance, there is unequalness, there is unevenness, there is what? Inequity in hell. Everybody knows that, right? There's only evenness, there's only equity at the equinoctial points, 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. All right? In other words, justice, and then injustice, which is unevenness or unequal. Y'all see the remix that they've done in religion? Y'all see that? They made sin a religious doctrine. What's the origin of sin? From nature. It's an imbalance between the number of hours between daylight and nighttime. Everybody see that? All right? So what do we need to do? We need to find out the number of hours between sunrise and sunset. It's only going to be 12 and 12 at the equinoctial points, right? We'll have the maximum number of daylight hours at the summer solstice and the minimum number of daylight hours at the winter solstice, or the maximum number of nighttime hours at the winter solstice. Okay, everybody see that? And that's going to vary depending on where you're at on Earth, where you're at on the planet. Okay, so let's do it again. I will here insert also a table for finding the length of those planetary hours, which must be computed from the length of days at the place desired. Sunrise to sunset, that's the length of the day, or length of days, okay? At the place desired, okay, that's going to depend, again, where you're at on Earth. All right? According to the time of year, according to the season, if you're in North America, right? So you have 4 seasons of the year. And which may be ascertained from any good local almanac, a farmer's almanac. See, y'all, we have covered nothing about devils, demons, warlocks, evilness, wickedness, nothing. All of that is a remix of natural phenomena meant to scare you away from who you are. And who are you? Your nature. You are thought made manifest from the land. To scare you away from you. Okay? So how can you, well, let's keep going. Anyway, the author shows us this table. I'm not going to go through the table because it would be too monotonous. All you need to do is look at it. So y'all, print the book off or look at it on the internet, do something. I have a copy of it in the community post here on YouTube. Zion Law School community post. All right, so let's keep going. So here's the calculation, page 90. The calculation is thus made. When a day and night are equal, viz., or specifically, when the SUN sun crosses the vernal and autumn equinoxes on March 22nd and September 22nd. Those are the equinoctial points, spring and fall equinox, y'all. So when the sun crosses them, they would be 12 hours each. Okay, we've already discussed that. Quote unquote. And evening and the morning were the first day. In Genesis, so that quote in Genesis alludes to the New Year's Day as known to the ancients. Well, that's very interesting. Listen. Quote unquote. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Now the first day is Sunday, right, y'all? The first day is Sunday. Go back to page 87. The first day is Sunday. That's the first thing. What's the second thing? The covenant of labor, the covenant of work, March 22nd, the spring equinox. Every man must work or so they say, labor to prepare your field for and the work of cultivation begins on the first day of spring. And then there's what? The covenant of grace. All right? Where Mother Earth gives you her bounty. Okay? Gives you her bounty. 12 hours of day in the spring, 12 hours of night, 12 hours of day and night at the harvest. What is this telling us? Well, they got us beginning the year, the natural year. Now, some of y'all might disagree with this. They got us beginning the natural year in the covenant of work. The contract of labor. Why? Because you're a sinner. You're in bondage. So of course you're in the contract of work, right? We own you. You're in bondage. We own you. You have no birthright. You don't have any constitutional protections. You don't have any treaty protections. You ignorant, and all you know is Christ resurrected and Christ crucified. Okay? So, Christianity has you in the covenant of labor. A servant. Huh? Everybody see that? Christianity is commerce. Master, slave. Creditor, debtor. But it's my position that the autochthonous Moors are what? In the covenant of grace. Why? Because we're thought made manifest from the land. Therefore, we're the substance and subject matter of the law. All land, all resources, including water, oil, gas, you name it, precious metals, you name it, human resources, human resources, animal resources, you name it, all vegetation, all commerce, and all contracts belong exclusively to the autochthonous Moors. As a birthright, meaning you don't work for it. You're in what? The covenant of grace. You're in a covenant of grace by birthright. But when you disrespect your ancient foremothers and forefathers, you lose that birthright. And whoever is in possession, they have it. This is Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 68. All the way. Also Deuteronomy 30, etc., etc., etc. Y'all see the point? And the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay? And Genesis alludes to the New Year's days as known to the ancients. Huh? The New Year's days, spring and fall. It's my opinion, y'all, that the new year starts at the harvest. Our new year starts at the harvest. Okay? The dirty Moors and their hybrid minions, or the hybrids and their dirty Moor minions, changed it to spring, the covenant of labor. Why? Because they made you think you're a sinner and that you're a debtor. Therefore, you're in a covenant of labor. You must work. This goes back to Christ's famous talk with the apostles when they asked him, why don't you tell the people the meaning of these parables? Why do you keep talking to them in parables? What did Christ say? He said, so that although having eyes to see, they will never perceive. Although having ears to hear, they will never understand. In other words, he uncoupled our eyes from our mind, our ears from our mind. He made us what? Illusional and delusional. He crippled us through this curse. Why? Well, he tells us why. Here's why he said it. So that they will never repent. Because if they repent, they have a chance to be saved. Let me state it differently. If they ever find out who they are, if they ever find out that they are thought made manifest from the land, and that they are the substance and subject matter of the law, and that they are the rightful heirs to all land, water, all other resources like I just mentioned, they're the rightful heir. If they ever found that out, guess what? They can stop playing the nigga game. They can get out of religion. They can get out of bondage. They can get their birthright back. They can do Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14, the blessings. Deuteronomy 30, the return to the Most High, living in harmony with nature, which is living in harmony with the Most High's laws in religion. So no, I ain't telling them, said the Christ. Because if I tell them, you, meaning the inner house, the secret society members, and I'm not saying every Freemason is a dirty Moor. I'm not saying that. But what he's saying is that you dirty Moors and the hybrids will move from being the creditor to being a debtor. You won't have anybody to live off of, because they will exercise their rights to reversion of estate. They're going to take all their stuff back. Adrena writes, teach, teach, teach. We all need to hear this truth. Oh, thank you, Adrena. You make me feel so good. Thank you so much. Everybody hear what I'm saying? This is the curse that the historical Jesus put on us as a people. All right? That's why we have to flee all religion. Psalms 82:6. All of you are gods, sons of the Most High. S-O-N is the same as S-U-N. Okay? All of you are gods, sons of the Most High. We are all thought made manifest. The Hermetic Law, all is mind. That's the first, the primary Hermetic Law. The other 6 emanate from it. Okay, thought, consciousness, all intelligence, all awareness. All. Okay? All emanates from the mind or from thought. And that's what we are. With our limitations in this fleshly body, this fleshly avatar. But you must remember, your masculine mental energy, the law, the Hermetic law of gender exists outside the fleshly body. The decision maker, scientifically proven. Scientifically proven. Okay? This is who we are. We are timeless. Not subject to birth, not subject to death, always present, always, and will be forever. If you ever find that out, the hybrid will be back in its rightful position as non-descendable. Okay, y'all? That's what's happening. This is power. What we're looking at. This is power. Magnetism. Let's continue. Where are we? So New Year's. Back to New Year's. Okay, back to New Year's. If y'all agree with me that we're in the covenant of grace because who we are, see, we're just being ourselves. We're just being ourselves. Okay? It's ours by birthright. So therefore, we're in a contract of grace once we learn who we are and start being who we are. That's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali told us: be yourself. And when you, I'm paraphrasing, when you finish studying yourself, study yourself some more, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So now let's continue. Now, if the entire number of hours in a day, i.e. 24, there are 24 hours in an earth, let's say clock. There are 24 hours in a clock's time of day. If you divide 24 by 12, you get 2. Darrell-El writes, Jew is the prefix of Yehudi thought. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. Jew is the prefix of Yehudi thought. Darrell-El, can you add a little bit more about the significance of that? I'm curious of what you're thinking. Okay, y'all. So now, if the entire number of hours in a day is 24, and you divide it by 12, you get 2. And the sun is ruling half light and half darkness. So 2. So daytime hours and then nighttime hours, okay? So let me go back. And as the sun's ruling is half light and half darkness, of course this gives a planetary hour, 1 hour in length, either day or night. Darrell-El writes the word was truncated to Jew. Okay. Okay, thank you, Darrell-El. Everybody got that? All right. So a planetary hour. Let's do it again. A planetary hour. 1 hour in length, either day or night. In other words, y'all, that 12 hours of, let's call it an Earth day or a clock, 12 hours on your clock on Earth is 1 planetary hour. Okay, so 24 hours is 2 planetary hours. That's what the author just said here. We're on page 90. And as 12 hours of day or night are equal to 1 hour of time, or 60 minutes, a day of 1 hour would be 1/12 of that time, or 5 minutes. Or 5 minutes, okay? Therefore, multiplying the number of hours of a day by 5 gives the planetary hours for the day. And the length of this planetary hour for the day deducted from 2 hours, or 120 minutes, gives the planetary hour for the night. So let me go through something for y'all. All right? So 12 hours in a day on Earth for a clock. Divide that by 12 hours, right? 12 for the equinoctial time. 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. That gives you 2 hours. Okay, so there's the day and the night. Okay, so that's our 2 hours, okay? 1 for day, 1 for night. That's planetary hours. There are 2. All right? So that means that 1 planetary hour equals 12 hours on Earth. Okay, now remember, that's at the equinoctial point. So 1 planetary hour equals 12 hours. Clear? So 2 planetary hours equals 24 hours, which is our 12 hours a day and 12 hours of night. All right? So 1 planetary hour equals 60 minutes, or 60 minutes divided by 12 zodiac signs gives you 5 minutes. Darrell-El writes, is that why Houdini, the rap group, chose 5? Oh, wow, man. That's brilliant. I never thought about that. And Houdini, isn't that a magician magic? I wonder how they came up with their name. 5 Minutes of Funk. Ain't that nothing? Wow, you know what? That never came to my mind. Hey, you know, this is so fun, right? This is really so fun. Because we see stuff now, you know what I mean, that we didn't see before. So 60 minutes, 60 planetary minutes divided by 12 zodiac signs equals 5 minutes. All right? So now let's continue. Where was I? Okay. Therefore, multiplying the number of hours of a day by 12 gives the planetary hour for the day. And the length of this planetary hour for the day deducted from 2 hours, or 120 minutes, gives the planetary hour for the night. Now, from March 22nd to April 22nd, March 22nd, remember y'all, that's the first day of spring, the vernal equinox. So, okay, from March 22nd to April 22nd, days increase 85 minutes. An average of I can't really make this out. An average of 2 8/10 minutes per day. So that if you should add 2 5/8 minutes to each day after March 22nd up to April 22nd, you can easily find the length of a day. The day April 22nd being 13 hours, 42 minutes in length. Y'all see that? That makes sense, right? Because after the spring equinox, the number of hours a day increase. So instead of 12, it's going to be what? 12, 13, 14, 15. Y'all see it? That's the imbalance, the inequity. You know, Darrell-El, I think you're right. I think you're right. 5 minutes of funk, Houdini. So where are we, y'all? Okay, so SUN sun rising at 5:43 a.m. March 22nd, sets at 6 p.m. April 22nd, the sun rises at 4:52 a.m. in the morning, sets at 6:34 p.m. in the evening. May 22nd, the sun rises at 4:16 a.m. in the morning and sets at 7:06 p.m. in the evening. And the length of day is 14 hours and 50 minutes. Y'all see that? The length of the daylight hours, in other words, you get 14 hours and 50 minutes of daylight. All right? Increasing from April 22nd to May 22nd, it has here by 1 14/15 of a minute. Okay? Or nearly an average of 2 minutes per day from May 22nd to June 22nd, at which time the SUN sun rises at 4:08 a.m. and sets at 7:25 p.m. So y'all see the sun is rising earlier and earlier, right, as the summer goes on, and setting later and later. Length of day, 15 hours, 17 minutes. These calculations are for Boston. Okay, so these are done for Boston. An increase of 27 minutes, or less than 1 minute per day, or 9/10 of a minute. Now, from June 18th to the 24th, inclusive, the length of day is exactly the same. 7 days. Y'all hear that? From June 18th to the 24th, inclusive, that length of day is exactly the same. 7 days on which the SUN sun is at the highest point on the cross Here's the cross, summer solstice. In Cancer, let me stop right here. We see the same phenomena in the winter. The winter solstice actually technically begins on December 17th. December 17th or 18th. Okay, and it reaches its climax or is fully horizontal by December 22nd. So as above, so below. The same thing is happening with the summer solstice in terms of the sun's elevation as happening with the winter solstice. So as above, so below, as below, so above. The law of correspondence. Hermetic law of correspondence. Okay, let's continue. And as the Escheat sun is now in the house of the moon, and JOS in the Old South Sea, dialect is sun, and Hua, H-U-A, Darrell-El, and Hua, the moon at full. Hold on, y'all. The moon at full, so it's a full moon. This is a very good time for Joshua to order the Escheat sun and moon to stand still. Uh-oh, y'all don't realize what y'all just read. Do y'all see the significance of what you just read? It's a full moon, and this is a very good time for Joshua to order the Escheat sun and moon to stand still. Well, we read about that in the Bible, don't we? Which we are told that Joshua did. You mean to tell me that when Joshua told the sun to stand still, it was at the summer solstice? Between June 22nd, between June 18th and June 24th? Is that what you're telling me? That the sun stood still because it was at the summer solstice, and that a deity made it stand still is not what happened? Ooh, y'all Christians and Hebrew Israelites, I know y'all burning under the collar, calling me a blasphemer, and what else y'all calling me? But whatever you choose to call me, that doesn't change the facts. That does not change the facts of what we just read and the natural phenomena about the summer solstice. Those facts remain, regardless of how you may want to talk bad about me. Okay? Don't take it out on me. Go investigate, get your facts and your evidence together, and deal with the issue. Don't attack me. I like that so much, I'm going to read it again. Now, from June 18th to June 24th, inclusive, the length of day is exactly the same. 7 days on which the Escheat sun is at the highest point of the cross in Cancer. Tropic of Cancer, I'm dropping y'all a hint. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north. I dropped you a big, huge hint. Coffee belt. And as the Escheat sun is now in the house, the moon, and JOS in the Old South Sea. In the Old South Sea. Another hint. Dialect is Escheat sun. And Hua, H-U-A. The moon at full. This is a very good time for Joshua to order the Escheat sun and moon to stand still. which we are told Joshua did. From June 22nd, the days will begin to shorten. July 22nd, they are 14 hours, 45 minutes long, having decreased 1 minute per day. SUN sun rising on that day at 4:28 a.m. in the morning and setting at 7:13 p.m. in the evening. August 22nd, the days are 13 hours and 35 minutes in length, having decreased 70 minutes, an average of 2 1/3 minutes. SUN sun rising at 4:59 a.m. and setting at 6:34 p.m. So what's happening, y'all? The sun is falling, right? It's falling toward autumn, falling southerly toward autumn, toward the fall season. September 22nd, they are nearing the fall equinox, okay? So the sun is getting close to the fall equinox. What's the date? Let's say the date is September 20th, 1920. Well, let's say the date is September 16, 17, 18, 19, okay? The equinoctial point will usually be between the 19th and the 22nd. September 22nd, they are nearing the fall equinox. And equal days and equal nights ensue. 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night occur at the spring and fall equinox. 12 hours in length at all places. At all places. At all places. I wish y'all, I did a video called The Location of the Promised Land According to Moses. Y'all should watch it. Y'all should watch it. Days decreased 95 minutes, or an average of 3 1/5 minutes for the month. October 22nd, day 10 hours, 45 minutes long, an average of 2.5 minutes less per day. Why? The sun is falling. All right, it's falling. Its elevation is decreasing. It is descending. SUN sun rises at 6:06 a.m. in the morning and sets at 4:51 p.m. November 22nd. Length of day, 9 hours and 32 minutes. Difference, 73 minutes less. Now, remember, November 22nd, this is where the fall summer or the secondary summer is coming. What's the mechanism? The decay of vegetation is causing heat to emanate up from the ground, okay, giving a false summer. Or did they used to call that Indian summer, y'all? I don't remember. Okay, let's continue. November 22nd, length of day, 9 hours, 32 minutes, difference of 73 minutes, 73 minutes less, okay? An average of daily decline of 2.5 minutes. Sun rises November 22nd at 6:45 a.m. in the morning and sets at 4:17 p.m. December 22nd. Length of day, 9 hours, 4 minutes. The 3 shortest days of the year ensue. December 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Right? Jesus is dead. The sun is no longer casting a 1-degree shadow, as it has done for every other day of the year. And our ancestors called this concrete natural phenomena the death of the year, the death of the sun. December 22nd, length of day, 9 hours and 4 minutes. and 4 minutes, okay? And 4 minutes, not 44. 9 hours and 4 minutes. The 3 shortest days of the year ensue. That's from December 22nd. And on the 25th, the SUN sun rises, or it springs, it ascends northward, or is reborn. Born again. Okay? The sun is born again. Jesus is born again. All right? What else happens, y'all? Well, because the sun is born again, Christ died for your sins. Saturn is a stronghold of Capricorn. December 25th, that's Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is what? The source of all ills. So the sun dies and pays for your sins. Everybody see that? How they remix that into a religious doctrine? Huh? And Satan makes you sin? Well, Satan is Saturn. Satan simply means the opposite, okay, or opposer. The sun is the central, and Saturn is the last planet out, or the planet that's furthest away. So if you draw a line from the sun to Saturn, you get the same line. Okay, so the sun is on the opposite end of Saturn. So therefore Saturn is opposite or opposing the sun. Therefore Saturn is Satan. Saturn is the furthest planet away from the sun. Therefore it's cold, and evil people are cold-hearted. Everybody see that? Remixed into religion as Satan being a person who wants to get you to sin, who wants to cause you to experience ills, suffering. Everybody see that? And is opposed to the Father. The Father is the Son, the central Son. Everybody see how they remixed this, rewrote this into a religious doctrine? Is it clear? So the Son, the Father and the Son are one, right? So the Son has to die. And the Son does die and goes to hell, which are the winter months, and goes to the lowest pit, which is the sun's lowest declination, lowest elevation in the southern part of space. And the sun gets resurrected, gets born again, pays the ransom for your sins, for your ills. Everybody see that? That's the astrological solution. Now let's continue. The SUN sun on the 22nd rises at 7:12 a.m. in the morning and sets at 4:16 p.m. A difference of about 1 minute per day. January 22nd, length of day, 9 hours and 38 minutes. The SUN sun rises at 7:07 a.m. and sets at 4:45 p.m. A difference of 41 minutes increase. Okay, so remember, the sun is ascending, it's springing, ascending northward, moving towards springtime, right? And what else is happening? In January, everything is thawing, beginning to thaw out, right? Okay, so let's continue. February 22nd, length of day. Let's go back. Difference of 41. Okay. Sun rises at 7:07 a.m. This is January 22nd. Let me go back, y'all, because I forgot where I stopped. January 22nd, length of day is 9 hours and 38 minutes. SUN sun rises at 7:07 a.m. and sets at 4:45 p.m. A difference of 41 minutes increase, or an average of 1 1/3 minutes per day from December 22nd. February 22nd, length of day, 10 hours and 53 minutes, increase 68 minutes, or an average of 2 1/4 minutes per day. Sun rising February 22nd at 6:33 a.m. in the morning. What a number. and setting at 5:24 p.m. And now, the last turn of the circle, and the sun commences the perfect day and acceptable year of the Lord, and the feast of Paschal Lamb, and makes the pastures green on March 22nd, which is the first day of spring, y'all. With another increase of 1 hour and 7 minutes, or average gain of a little less than 2 1/4 minutes daily. Now, of this knowledge, we can make a table very useful for calculating the planetary hour of any day, so we may easily tell the planet ruling that hour. And here's an example of it, y'all, and this is power. I don't know if I'll be able to get into the power that this gives you in this video, but definitely the next class, all right? But this is power. This is power, as they say, shovel ready. Shovel ready. This is power. You can infuse anything that you're doing with this cosmic power. And it's magnetism, not devils and demons. It's devils and demons for the ignorant and unlearned. And I used to be one of them. In other words, for those who are caught up in religion, devils and demons and gods and all of this stuff. That's the lowest level. That's the lowest level of knowledge of who you are and the world. And that was imposed on us by the Catholic Church and all of the religions that are associated with it. All right, now y'all, we're on page 92. So this is a table of the sun enters new sign or births of saints or apostles. Okay? So I'm going to go through these details maybe in the next class. Or maybe even y'all might have to do it on your own. I'm not sure because it might be too boring or confusing. But y'all let me know what you want to do. This is the chart, the table rather, on page 92 and also on 89. All right? Suppose a planetary hour for 11 a.m. of June 4th, 1892 should be wanted. Look for time of sunrise preceding month and the 22nd day, or the sun entering Gemini, and say sun enters or rises on May 22nd at, and then it has here 4:16 a.m. All right, so June 4th is 13 days difference, average daily difference, May 22nd to June 22nd. It has here 9/10 of a minute, or 54. Let me show y'all the calculation. Here's the calculation. So y'all study this. You can also do what I did. You can Google planetary hours. All right? And also search it on YouTube, and you'll get some helpful videos. It looks complicated, but when you watch the videos that explain this, it's very simple. It's very simple. All right? So, give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. So now we have 0.9 times 13 equals 11.7, or say 12 to add. Days increase by 12. Time of 11 a.m. Deduct or subtract 4.28, and we get 6.32, or 6 hour 32 minute from sunrise. Length of day, May 22nd, which is 14 hours and 50 minutes plus 12 gives us 15 minutes, 15 hours and 2 minutes, which equals 920. So yeah, I'm just trying to go through this because we only have one page to go. So I'll come back to it in the next class. But let's finish this up so we can complete this. Or maybe I should do another, hold on. Maybe I'll do another class because I want to. Give me 1 second, okay? Let me think. Well, let me finish this. So we're on page 93. I'm not sure if I understand this mathematical equation. Let me just show it. So we are here. We're here. So I'm going to research this further because I don't understand. I don't know if this is multiplication or I don't know if he means 12 times 902. So that's a planet. So let me research this. I don't understand how he wrote this. It's the parentheses that's confusing me. Well, let's go into the paragraph. Maybe he will explain it. 93. So he writes, page 93, and 392 divided by 75, length of planetary hour is the 5th hour and 13 minutes of the planetary hour for June 4th. And as June 4th, 1892 is a Saturday, we look for our table for planetary hours, and the 5th hour of Saturday we find ruled by Venus. Always bear this in mind, that you ascertain the weekday of the date required and get the planetary hour of that weekday from your table. As I have given you a table previously to ascertain the length of planetary hours according to the length of day, you could, to avoid much calculation, say that June 4th, the length of day is 15 hours and 2 minutes. Then turning to the table, say length of day for 15 hours. Gives length of planetary hour for day as, I think this says 1 hour. So 15 equals 75. And time from sunrise is 6 hours and 32 minutes equals 392 divided by 75 equals 5 hours. 12 as before. So that 12 of the 5th hour of Saturday so 12 hours of the 5th hour of Saturday had elapsed, and there should be still left 63, I think this is minutes of the hour of Venus. The use of the planetary hour is of great importance in astrology, and especially in orrery questions, that's yes or no questions, especially in questions of theft, murder, or any crime, as by it the artist or astrologer can more readily describe the culprit than by any other way, as I myself have proven in many instances. So y'all, let me show you. There's an easier way to do this than what the author has written here. But you have to remember, this is in 1892. All right? So here are the steps for planetary hours. So you get sunrise and sunset wherever you are on the planet. Okay? And then you total the number of hours, okay, from sunrise to sunset. Next, convert those hours to minutes and divide by 12. Why 12? 12 is the length of 12, meaning 12 zodiac signs, okay? So this equals the length of each planetary hour, all right? So that's for the daytime. That's that 1 planetary hour for daytime. So next, you repeat the same process. Let's do nighttime. So you get the local time for sunrise and sunset, total the number of hours from, for nighttime, it's the local time for sunset and sunrise. Okay, next, you total the number of hours from sunset to sunrise and convert them to minutes. Now divide by 12 zodiac signs. Okay, so let me turn over the page. All right, so let me continue with my notes. So the first 12 hours are the diurnal hours. These are the day hours. Okay, the second 12 hours are nocturnal hours. Those are the night hours. Okay, and remember, a planetary hour does not equal clock hours. Okay? And then finally, I have in my notes here, a new day begins not at midnight, but at sunrise. Okay, but at sunrise. I got that out of, those are my notes that I took on the chapter. But what's the power? Let me give y'all the heads up. The heads up, the power rather, is, remember, each hour of the day is ruled by a different planet. Okay? So whatever it is that you want to accomplish, do, be, or have, then you make it harmonic. You do it at the time that's consistent with the planet that is most helpful to you in terms of what it is you're trying to do. I know that sounds very abstract, but we'll get into that in the next class. But in the meantime, y'all, Google search, also do YouTube search on planetary hours and planetary hours, and then, give me 1 second, I lost my thought. The minutes, okay? So y'all Google search that. And it's actually easy. It's very easy to understand. Don't be discouraged if you didn't understand, especially like the last page of what we went over. Just Google search it, watch it on YouTube. It's actually very easy. And it's also going to tell you how to harness the magnetic energy and information deriving from each planet. And each planet for each hour of the day that it rules, and then how you can use that, pair it up with what you're doing. All right. So if something that you're doing is consistent with Mars, then you do it on the hour of the day where Mars is ruling. But anyway, y'all do that, follow up, you'll see it's very easy. And we'll pick this back up next class. I gotta run. Islam to all the Moors, assalamu alaikum, I, self, law, and master. Thanks for spending your time with me. It's about 9, my time in Vietnam is about 9:25 at night. So I'm gonna go home, I gotta get up early and get my day started. Thanks everyone for your support. If you haven't bought my books yet, go out and buy my books, get yourself educated. There's a list of books that I wrote in the description area of this video. Also subscribe to 101 Ancient Ibaryath class, which is my streaming class that'll teach you the Ancient Ibaryath or Canaanite Phoenician. This is the language and the script that the original book of the law, the Hebrew scriptures, were written in. All right? Thanks everyone. The big thanks and a big reminder. Thanks for supporting my project to write the book of the law in Ancient Ibaryath and Modern English, restoring the Astrology, the Hermetic Laws, and the constitutional principles. So if you've been meaning to support it, go ahead and support it. I want to remind you and say thanks in advance. Everybody show up to my Saturday class every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can come for free to observe. You don't have to pay anything. If you want to enroll, of course, there's a small tuition. Islam to all the Moors. Assalamu alaikum. I, self, law, and master. I'll see y'all on the next one.